Bam, bam, ba-da-dum.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back. And today I'm diving into some chaotic fun with Ragdoll archers. And while I play, I'm not just flinging arrows, I've got stories, jokes, and some seriously questionable life lessons to share. Trust me, this ride is going to be weirder than watching a raccoon juggle glow sticks, so buckle up and listen closely. You know, I realized the other day that adulthood is basically like trying to assemble IKEA furniture without the instructions, in the dark, while someone's playing death metal in the background. You think you've got it under control, then somehow you've been holding the Allen wrench upside down for 20 minutes and questioning every decision that led you here. Like, why do I even own 3 identical chairs that all wobble in perfect unison? It feels less like furniture and more like a test of my sanity. Speaking of tests, let me tell you about my recent grocery store adventure. I went in with a simple list: milk, bread, eggs. Basic survival stuff. But apparently, I have the shopping discipline of a toddler in a candy store. I walked out with 17 items I absolutely didn't need, including a family-sized bag of marshmallows, a pineapple I don't know how to cut, and somehow 5 different types of cheese. 5. When did I become a cheese connoisseur? I live alone and eat cereal for dinner half the time. Now here's something that still haunts me. Dentist chairs are the most diabolical invention known to mankind. You sit down, they tilt you practically upside down, put a vacuum tube in your mouth, shine a light brighter than the sun directly into your eyeballs, and then ask, so, how's your day been? Like, bro, I cannot currently close my mouth, breathe normally, or move my tongue. Why do you want to chat now? If aliens ever observe us, that'll be the moment they decide we aren't a serious species. Oh, here's a fun throwback. Back in high school, I tried to impress someone by doing a backflip at a party. I had 0 gymnastics experience, 0 athletic ability, and maximum overconfidence. Spoiler alert, I didn't even make it halfway. I basically invented a new martial art move called the side flop of infinite regret. People clapped, not because it was impressive, but because they thought they might need to call an ambulance. Honestly, survival might be my most impressive skill. You ever notice how technology loves to betray you at the worst possible moment? My phone always decides to freeze right as I'm showing someone the funniest meme of all time. Then instead of laughing, they're just politely staring at me while I frantically jab at the screen like I forgot how electricity works. By the time it loads, the moment's dead, I'm dead inside, and the joke has been assassinated by technological incompetence. And I'm the kind of guy who waves enthusiastically at someone who is clearly waving at the person behind me. Instead of brushing it off, I fully commit to the awkwardness. The secondhand embarrassment from confused strangers actually fuels me like caffeine. If you've never made accidental eye contact mid-wave and wanted to teleport to another dimension, you're missing out on a core human experience. Don't get me started on self-checkout machines. They're supposed to make life easier, but instead they yell at you like an angry substitute teacher. Unexpected item in bagging area. Unexpected? It's my groceries. What did you expect? A raccoon climbing out of my cart? Honestly, I wouldn't even be surprised at that point. Hey, quick reminder, stick around till the end because I've got a payoff story that will make every awkward family dinner sound completely normal. You don't want to miss this one. Life is wild, man. One time I decided to be healthy and ordered a salad. I was feeling good about myself, making responsible adult choices. This salad showed up bigger than my head, drowning in enough ranch dressing to fill a swimming pool. I looked at this mountain of lettuce and thought, this isn't healthy eating, this is a personality test. Spoiler alert, I failed. I ate the entire thing and it felt worse than if I just ordered pizza. Here's another classic moment. I was at a coffee shop trying to be sophisticated, so I ordered something with 17 different specifications. Extra hot, oat milk, 2 pumps vanilla, half pump caramel, light foam, ceramic cup, not too full. The barista looked at me like I'd requested actual magic. 20 minutes later, I get this drink that tastes like disappointment mixed with regret. But did I say anything? Of course not. I smiled, said perfect, and spent $12 on coffee-flavored sadness. Grocery shopping has become a competitive sport. You enter with a plan list, feeling organized, ready to conquer the day. Then you leave with none of the things you needed, but somehow you've got 17 different snacks you've never tried. That exotic trail mix with unpronounceable ingredients? Essential. That weird fruit from another continent? Obviously required for survival. You know what gets me? Automatic sliding doors. Half the time you feel like a futuristic wizard strolling through barriers that bend to your will. The other half, you walk face first into solid glass like a confused bird. Then you do that awkward dance, stepping back and forth, trying to find the magical sweet spot that convinces the door you're actually human. Now, if you're enjoying this roller coaster of embarrassing stories, make sure you subscribe to the channel because apparently making a fool of myself is my one true talent, and I've got plenty more where these came from. Technology continues to baffle me daily. I'll spend 20 minutes trying to connect to Wi-Fi, entering the password 17 different ways, only to discover I was trying to connect to my neighbor's network the entire time. Then when I finally get online, every website loads except the one thing I actually needed. Alright, here's that big payoff I promised. Picture this, family Christmas dinner, everything's going smoothly. Then my uncle asks me to say grace for everyone. I panic. My brain shuts down. I blank on every word I've ever learned. Instead of a prayer, I start reciting the opening monologue from a superhero movie. Word for word. With dramatic pauses. My entire family stared in silence until my 80-year-old grandma casually said amen and started passing potatoes like nothing happened. Most bizarre holiday superhero crossover of all time. So there you have it, folks. If you laughed at least once, hit that subscribe button because embarrassing myself for your entertainment is clearly my calling. And if you enjoyed this chaos, drop a like or leave me a comment with your most awkward story so I know I'm not alone. Until next time, stay smart, stay weird, and I'll see you in the next video where I'll find new ways to question my life choices. There's more chaos where that came from. Let me tell you about my recent attempt at being a responsible adult who meal preps. I watched exactly one YouTube video about healthy eating and suddenly thought I was Gordon Ramsay meets a fitness influencer. I spent 3 hours on Sunday chopping vegetables, portioning everything into fancy containers, feeling incredibly proud of my organizational skills. By Wednesday, I discovered that apparently broccoli turns into some kind of science experiment when left alone for too long. My refrigerator smelled like a swamp, and I ended up ordering pizza anyway. Meal prep? More like meal regret. And speaking of kitchen disasters, let me share my legendary microwave incident. I was trying to heat up leftover pizza's simple task, right? Somehow I managed to set the timer for 30 minutes instead of 30 seconds. I got distracted watching videos on my phone, and suddenly my apartment smelled like a tire fire. The pizza had transformed into what can only be described as a charcoal sculpture. My smoke detector started screaming, my neighbors were knocking, and I'm standing there with a piece of carbonized cheese thinking, how did I fail at reheating food? It's a skill I thought was impossible to mess up, but here I am, proving that anything is possible with enough incompetence. You know what's fascinating about laundry? It's supposed to be this simple, mindless task, but somehow I always manage to create new problems. Like, I'll wash a load of clothes, feel accomplished, then realize I forgot to actually add detergent. So now I've got cleanish clothes that smell exactly the same as when they went in. Or I'll mix colors and whites because I'm feeling rebellious, and suddenly all my white shirts have this trendy pink tint that nobody asked for. I've accidentally created a whole new wardrobe aesthetic called laundry failure chic. Here's something that keeps me up at night, public transportation etiquette. There's this unwritten rule book that nobody ever actually teaches you, but apparently everyone else got the memo. Like, where exactly are you supposed to look when you're standing in a crowded subway car? Make eye contact? Weird. Stare at your phone? Antisocial. Look at the floor? Suspicious. I usually end up studying those advertisements like I'm preparing for a PhD in random subway marketing. Oh yes, this personal injury lawyer looks very trustworthy. I should definitely memorize his phone number. And parking lots are their own special dimension of human behavior. Everyone becomes a Formula One driver the moment they enter a grocery store parking lot. People will circle for 20 minutes looking for a spot that's literally 3 spaces closer to the entrance. Meanwhile, I'm just happy if I can park without creating a new modern art installation involving my bumper in someone else's car. I've mastered the art of parking so crooked that I actually take up parts of 3 different spaces. It's not intentional, it's just talent. Oh, and let's talk about those automatic hand dryers in public restrooms. They're supposed to be hygienic and environmentally friendly, but they're clearly designed by someone who's never actually used their own invention. You wave your hands under the sensor for 30 seconds, nothing happens. You try different angles, different distances, performing what looks like an interpretive dance routine. Finally, it activates for exactly 2 seconds, providing just enough air to slightly dampen the water on your hands. So now instead of wet hands, you have cold, slightly less wet hands. Revolutionary technology right there. Social media has created this weird parallel universe where everyone's living their best life simultaneously. Like, I'll post a picture of my breakfast looking all aesthetic and healthy, but what you don't see is that I ate cereal straight from the box for dinner the night before while watching reality TV in my pajamas at 2 in the afternoon. We're all just pretending to have our lives together while secretly Googling, is it normal to wear the same shirt 3 days in a row if nobody saw me yesterday? Dating apps are a whole other level of psychological warfare. You spend hours crafting the perfect profile that represents you as this interesting, well-rounded human being. I love hiking. No, I walked up a hill once and complained the entire time. I'm passionate about cooking. I can make pasta without burning it, sometimes. Looking for meaningful conversations. Please just tell me if you think pineapple belongs on pizza so we can determine our compatibility level immediately. And job interviews are basically professional lying competitions where everyone pretends they're excited about synergy and leveraging core competencies. They ask you where you see yourself in 5 years, and you're supposed to have this detailed vision when you can barely decide what to eat for lunch. Well, in 5 years I hope to have figured out what I want to be when I grow up, despite already being a grown adult who pays taxes and everything. The worst part about being an adult is pretending you know what you're doing in situations where you're completely clueless. Like when the mechanic explains what's wrong with your car using words that might as well be ancient hieroglyphics. You nod thoughtfully like you understand the complex relationship between the flux capacitor and the transmission fluid, when really you're just hoping they're not making up expensive sounding problems to fund their vacation. Speaking of cars, GPS technology has somehow made us worse at navigation than our grandparents who used actual paper maps and the position of the sun. I can't drive to the grocery store without Siri telling me exactly which lane to be in, but our ancestors crossed entire continents using stars and determination. Now I panic if my phone loses signal for 30 seconds because suddenly I don't remember how to get home from places I've been 1,000 times. Here's my final thought that'll blow your mind. We live in an age where we carry computers more powerful than what sent people to the moon, and we primarily use them to look at pictures of food and argue with strangers about topics we Googled 5 minutes ago. Our ancestors would be so proud to know their descendants achieved the pinnacle of human knowledge and immediately used it to watch videos of cats being confused by cucumbers. So if you've made it this far in my journey through modern life confusion, definitely smash the like button, drop a comment with your own tales of adult incompetence, and remember, we're all just making it up as we go along, and that's perfectly okay. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll catch you next time with more questionable wisdom.
La 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 la.